Thank you.
And so there you have that. But Dr. Austin Nweze joins us now. He's an economist and he's in Pan-Atlantic University. Morning, thank you for coming on this morning.
Good morning.
Well, interesting. From what he even said, let's even start off from there before we go into the books of the text of what they had said. He says, develop your criteria, your marking scheme, and then assess them. How should that be the case?
Well, I think in a way there should be some metrics, on measure performance metrics, okay. Which will include some of the things they have claimed to, and you know that if they had any plan, any goal when coming to the office and said that, look, during the 4 years I've been in power, these are the things I want to accomplish. But he did not tell us that. Okay? So, and that's the point I keep making. That before coming to Africa as a whole, the leadership is always struggling for power. Once they struggle and get power, confusion sets in.
So they don't plan for it ahead of time. Yes. This is what I want to do
exactly
when I get in there. And I'll
nothing like that. Not just Nigeria, but Africa as a whole. They just get in there and then, so now that I have power, what do I do? So he's calling for metrics, performance metrics. So how do we, what did he tell us? What did he want to achieve in the first place? You might say, okay, look, he has about 14 points or things that he wants to achieve. They claim they have done maybe 8 or something. Now, what about the quality of the job done? For instance, quality of the roads constructed, how efficient, cost-wise, compared to other, he said, even outside Nigeria. Now, I know that from information available in the public domain that in Nigeria, the cost of constructing a kilometer of road in Nigeria is about the highest in the world. So we need to develop, the metrics should include that. How efficient utilization of resources. Okay? And then the duration. How long did it take them to accomplish all this? Okay? And the local content in all of this. Because these are the things that count. So, okay, maybe we should those in the academia or consultants should come up with some metrics to measure some of these things that they have come for.
And say that metrics has got to be predicated not necessarily on what predecessors have done, but on what this government said they were going to do.
They are going to do, first of all. And then compare it before you begin to compare with other past administrations. And then the time back, year on year, this is May last year or May previous year. What was it? And then the economy. What was the GDP by the time the previous government at this time, 2 years after, and then this current administration. So these are some of the things that we need to look at. But again, when you are measuring performance of the administration, you have to look at the fiscal side and the monetary side and know how far they have gone. I know that, again, some of the projects that they are doing, and I think even the House of Rep is investigating some abandoned projects, which they have spent over 200 and something billion paid. But some contractors abandoned the project, and these are the things they're claiming to have done.
But again, Dr. Nweze, if you look at that, because I'm also following that particular report, and it's about the Ministry of Works, perhaps that could also be a plus to the same administration. You recall yesterday before the President came on the podium, his ministers had spoken, and Okonjo-Iweala, one of them, apart from Shamsuddin Usman. Well, she said a whole lot, and I want to look at the oil industry, which she also highlighted. She talked about corruption in the petrol subsidy payments, and she said, before now, we had 143 importers of the petroleum products into the country, and it's been reduced to 32. And while several billions of naira had been recovered from marketers indicted in the subsidy probe. That's another big plus she highlighted yesterday. So what do you make of that?
Well, it's very, very good, because if you're familiar with what goes on in the industry, you feel sorry for this country and how the mainstay or main source of national revenue, the kind of mess in there. There's huge corruption in the system, and if they're able to clean that up, that's a huge plus. And I know that, yes, before that, over 100, 140 something, everybody carrying a portfolio saying that they're contractors and just doing, get the paper out and buy from, those that have connections to Aso Rock. It's a huge mess. I don't want to begin to look at it. And those friends inside there, I hear stories each time I visit there to see them and say hello and all that. I hear things, going on in that place, and it's a huge mess. If they're able to clean that up, fine. It's a good way. It's a good start, and that's a plus for the government because it's just there. It's just there. You just walk in there. If you have a note, even one of my friends told me one of the visits I made some years ago, and he said, look, right at the former MD's, the group managing director of NMPC, right on his desk, a note from the presidency, not this administration, the late Yar'Adua's administration. A former governor indicted for corruption, and he got a note to be given an oil block or whatever this thing to do oil. So they use it. If you follow my article I wrote in 2008 about the political economy of high oil prices, you find that in that article I said that, look, the job of the group managing director then was just to service political IOUs using the oil blocks and oil this thing. To do that, when they need money to do anything, is the oil. Just give the errand boys some job to do, and then you have your money.
This oil being the cash cow of the nation, some would also say is very, very risky for a nation to have a mono economy. But
That's
the
right.
minister also went further to talk about the over-dependence on crude, which he says before now was 100%, but now they have been able to reduce it to 70% to the extent that they now are looking into other areas, agricultural. But how do you feel? Do you feel the vibe that truly we have started some exportation of agricultural produce? If you look at the ordinary farmer who produces rice, maybe in faraway Abakaliki, or the other who would give you yams in some other parts of northern Nigeria, are we doing enough to encourage our farmers here to get this 30% exportation?
Well, the thing is that, yes, in the agri sector, I would say that, yes, some good thinking is coming in there, but it's not there yet because we need a holistic, some kind of a national strategy to know exactly where we're focusing. Now, if you're focusing on agriculture, the thing is that you make policies, it's not just providing money for people. How do you organize these people? And we're still subsistence level. We need to commercialize agriculture before you can begin to export. Now, Nigeria has more arable land than Thailand. Over 79 million, arable land than any other country. Now, those people are now the major exporter of cassava. Yes, they control over 70 or 80%, of the market. Okay. Now, but Nigeria that produces there's no, we need to kind of handhold farmers, find markets for them. Okay. Let's take, for example, Shimon Peres of Israel. You'd be amazed that he called some big companies to listen to a young man who has a good idea to promote the businesses in Israel. And Israel has the greatest concentration of innovation and entrepreneurship in the world because the government, is handholding these people and marketing the businesses and all that. We need to see that in agriculture. We need to see the ministry to go further to begin to investigate and group these people, maybe some kind of cooperative. Because subsistence level, everybody doing their own, and let the government guarantee farmers ready markets. Produce as much as you can. Then we buy from you. And then they begin to market. So that is the kind of